What is up, guys? Boomer Taiki here, and I know what you're wondering. Like, what happened, right? Like, why do you look like that? Like, why do you look like an Asian version of Charles Hoskinson? And I take offense to that, not because I have anything against Charles. I mean, clearly he's with a beautiful woman at this airport or something. So, clearly he's doing something right in his life, right? Unlike myself. But I'm just offended because I think I look more like Anthony Sassano, right? But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, right? The point is, I've aged a lot in the past week, right? The past week has been very, very stressful for me, and I'm sure it's been really stressful for a lot of you. And, as I was reflecting on myself, and, yesterday I turned 26, right? So happy birthday to me. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, being 26 in this industry, it's kind of this, like, the equivalent to just being a boomer, right? I'm just a boomer at this point. And the whole Luna and the UST fiasco, right? The implosion, all that stuff, like I just can't take risk anymore, right? Like my risk tolerance went from up here to down here. It is what it is, right? Like double digit APYs can't be trusted. It's not sustainable. I just have to go for sustainable sources of revenue, safe boomer yield farms. Okay, so from this point on forward, as long as I'm boomer Taiki, I'm only gonna talk about boomer farms, right? So like whether you like it or not, feel free to unsubscribe if you want to, right? I'm a boomer, right? Like numbers don't mean anything to me, so let's just go over top farms for risk averse boomers like myself, okay? So obviously not financial advice, right? I'm a boomer, right? Like don't take financial advice from crypto boomers. So let's pay homage to my spirit animal, Charles Hoskinson, by talking about some good farms on Cardano, right? So if you go to DeFi Llama, right, the Cardano TVO looks like Mount Everest, right? That's totally fine. We can still farm on Cardano, right? But I looked really hard. There's just, I mean, yeah, like farms are non-existent on Cardano, right? I mean, sure they exist, but like they're not really worth putting your money in it, right? Unless you want to lose money. So if I want to earn yield, right, on the Cardano blockchain, I have to look for more creative ways to earn yield. And Cardano is synonymous to Charles Hoskinson, right? Because the blockchain itself, it's getting started, right? But not much exists on it yet. And essentially, a bet on Cardano is a bet on Charles Hoskinson. So instead of farming on Cardano, like what if I farm on Charles Hoskinson, right? They're basically the same thing. And I was doing some market research, because that's what I do, right? I'm a research analyst. And I saw that, Charles, he has a garden, right, in Sunnyside, Colorado, right? And it needs a lot of help, right? Let's zoom in on some of these photos, right? I mean, like great posture, right? I can see his man boobs, like there's a dog at the bottom, right? Like those, I mean, there's like some green, right? That's good. But what is this, right? Like he definitely needs some farming advice from someone experienced like myself, right? And I mean, like, why is he posting pictures of this thing, right? Like, what is the point of this? So clearly, Charles definitely needs some farming advice, and that is where I see the point of maximum opportunity. But how can I earn a safe APY from Charles's clear need for farming advice? And I can answer that with two words, right? Market research, right? Every time I'm looking for answers, every time I'm doing research, I'm looking at the market and I'm figuring out, okay, where's the maximum point of opportunity, right? Like that is my motto, right? Maximum point of opportunity, okay? And, we have to look for sustainable yields, sustainable revenue sources with predictable demand. That's the point. Predictable demand, okay? Because sure, I can make $1,000 today, but if I can only make $100 tomorrow, then like what's the point, right? Like there's no point for me to invest in something if there isn't sustainable sources of like demand. And of course, Charles is a mysterious creature, right? He's my spirit animal, and he has this infatuation with mushrooms. I don't really get it, right? But if you're a businessman, like you don't really question like the motives of the buyers. I mean, you kind of do, but you don't really care, right? You're just like, okay, like you want to buy my mushrooms? All right, I'll just produce mushrooms and sell it to you at a profit, right? And like Charles is the type of person to fly down to the south and go to some mushroom lectures. Okay, I mean, I respect that, right? He goes out to the forest, he goes hiking, and he takes photos of mushrooms, and he wants to clone them and add them to the farm box. Okay, so clearly Charles likes mushrooms, and if I can produce mushrooms for him, then he's probably gonna buy from me, right? Especially if I can offer him competitive rates to the market. And he's the Georgia Mushroom Festival, right? I mean, I don't really know what's going on here, right? But he has a hat, right? If he's willing to buy mushroom hats, then he's definitely going to be willing to buy mushrooms from me. And he has some photos of him enjoying mushrooms at like a mall, right? And I don't even know like what's going on here, but he just really likes mushrooms. That's the point here. And Charles often does his live streams, right? He has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I envy him. And one time he was asked a question: Charles, what do you think about magic mushrooms? And I'm not really suggesting that he takes or doesn't take magic mushrooms, but you kind of you get it, right? You get it. So obviously, mushrooms, like that is the produce to farm, right? We're all about the fungi here. Yeah, I'm a fungi, right? Even my sense of humor has become boomerified. So let's focus on farming mushrooms. The thing is, I can't like earn a living selling mushrooms to Charles alone. He's only one person. Even if he consumes mushrooms every single day, I just can't sustain myself. I need more buyers. Fortunately, Charles, he can help me out, right? He has almost 1 million followers. Let's round up, right? He has 1 million followers. And if you think about the Cardano community, it's a cult, right? I mean, if Charles does something, then the Cardano community is gonna tattoo it on their skin or something, right? I mean, so if Charles buys my mushrooms, it's very, very likely that 99% of his followers will also buy my mushrooms, right? Because you follow the leader, right? You follow Charles, and you guide the leader, and his pack follows, right? So assuming that there's 1 million followers, right, that Charles has, then I can say with certainty, right, with absolute certainty, that I can receive 990,000 customers with recurring revenue, right? Sustainable. Now, what about my other spirit animal, right? Anthony Sassano, right? He has 200,000 followers. I don't really know what that photo is about, right? But if that guy comes up, if that guy knocks at your door and offers to sell mushrooms, right? You're gonna buy mushrooms, right? Not because you want mushrooms, but you just kind of spooked out, and you just kind of want him off of your front porch, right? So, but Sassano ain't no Charles. He does not have a cult-like following, though. A lot of people do respect him, and if he buys my mushrooms, I'm sure maybe 5% of his following will buy my mushrooms. So let's just say 10,000 customers with recurring revenue, right? So this is how you do market research, right? I went to business school. I also consulted for some high growth tech companies. So, I tend to know what I'm talking about. So there's that, right? We have 1 million customers from my mushrooms, right? So I have to produce a lot of mushrooms, but how much? How much mushrooms do I have to produce to sell to sell to my crypto community? So upon further research, right? This is a pretty it's not a great trend, right? If I'm trying to get into the mushroom business, you want to see this trend go up rather than go down, right? But I'm sure Charles can help me with this. But let's just say per capita consumption of mushrooms in the US, roughly 2.5 pounds per person, right? So let's just be conservative, stick to 2.5 per person, right? And given that there's 1 million people that's gonna buy my mushrooms, 2.5 million pounds of mushrooms, right? I mean, that's a lot of mushrooms, right? There's gonna be a lot of opportunities to make money off there. And I was doing some research on how profitable this industry is, and mushrooms, this website called Fungi Ally, right? Great resource, right? I bookmarked it. I suggest everyone do the same. And this person mentioned that if you take into account material expenses, labor, everything, the profit margin is roughly $4.76 per pound, right? So not too bad, right? Given that there's 2.5 million pounds of mushrooms that I have to offload to the market. Okay, so of course this article was written maybe a year or two ago, right? But obviously there's rising costs, right? Rising cost of material, labor, etc. It's reasonable to expect lower margins. So with some room of certainty, right? Conservative estimate of $4.20 per pound, right? That's my profit margin for mushrooms. So I'm gonna stick to this number, and let's keep moving forward and figure out how much revenue can I and how much profit can I generate from this. So just simple math, right? Potential profit here is $10.5 million. There you go, right? Why was I putting money into Anchor, right? I could have just done this my entire life, and I could have made $10 million every single year, right? That's called passive income, right? I can just go to Charles's backyard, grow some mushrooms, and I'm sure that if I can convince Charles, right, if I can give him some mushrooms for free, give at a discount, he'll probably let me use his backyard for free, right? So I can cut on costs there that way too, right? It's like crypto life, it's all about networking, right? So you just have to know some people. You ask for a favor, and then if they ask for a favor back in the future, then you have to oblige, right? That's kind of how life works. And I look forward to visiting Charles in Sunnyside, Colorado, and embark on this journey to produce as many mushrooms as I can. Okay, yeah, heavily discounted mushrooms, right? I mean, why not? So, summary here is that I can profitable, like I can farm extremely profitable on Cardano, right? That blockchain is a gold mine. Okay, like please don't dilute my yields. I'm just sharing my research process so you can learn from it. I was affected by USD and Luna, obviously, so please don't dilute my yields. But if you want to take 20% of my market share, I'm willing to do so, right? That's totally fine. So let's talk about farming on Ethereum, right? Because yes, Cardano is profitable, but you can't be a Cardano maxi, right? You have to be omni-chain. You have to look for all opportunities. Like, can we farm mushrooms on Ethereum? And the answer is yes, actually. The answer is yes, right? I was talking to Anthony, right? My twin brother from another mother, and he was talking to me about mushroom finance on the Ethereum blockchain, right? Super decentralized mushroom farming. That's the way to go, right? Proof of stake and whatnot. But unfortunately, right, a couple days ago, with the USTD peg, Luna, all that stuff, mushroom finance was exploited, right? And the vaults were drained, right? Unfortunate, right? There was a postmortem analysis for anyone that wants to read it. I read it, and I don't want to touch Ethereum anymore, right? It's too risky, right? Way too risky. Like Anthony Sassano, right? Was he behind this attack? I don't know, right? Like, he recommended it to me like days before this exploit. But fortunately, I was farming on Cardano, right? I was like preparing for mushroom farming, so fortunately, I was not affected by this. But you better watch out, right? DeFi is risky, right? Crypto is dangerous. So Ethereum-based mushrooms are susceptible to attack. I'm gonna stick to Cardano, but if you must, like, stake ETH on Lido or something, right? Like that's probably the best way to go. Okay, how about safe farms on Fantom, right? Safe mushroom farms on Fantom. Like, do they exist? Wait, what? Where's my Fantom slide? Wait, are there no safe farms on Fantom? Fuck. Well, no. Let's keep going, right? Let's go to Avalanche, right? I'm sure there are good farms on Avalanche, right? I'm not sure if there are any mushrooms out there, but because Avalanche, right? It's like a snowy mountain and whatnot. But let's keep going. So I think the best way to look for good farms is to contact insiders, right? Insiders know the best information, and they can tell you the alpha, right? So the Avalanche had a DeFi, right? I did some research, and this man is named Luigi, right? Like Luigi, right? Literally, like, mushrooms are everywhere, right? Because if you know anything about Mario and Luigi, like, they love mushrooms. And though there aren't any good farms on Avalanche right now, right, as it pertains to like mushrooms, Luigi, he's a Jets fan, right? So I think he needs all the support that we can give him. So I'm gonna farm on Cardano, maybe farm on Ethereum, and also Avalanche. Just I'm an altruistic guy, right? At the end of the day, so let's focus on those ecosystems. Yeah, I mean, he just loves mushrooms, right? So let's talk about the road to profitability, right? Because what good is a business if it's not profitable, right? Like, it has to be self-sustaining. Like, there has to be some profitability. With the Charles situation, with Ethereum exploit, with Luigi, right, being a Jets fan, all roads lead to mushroom farming on the Cardano blockchain, right? But it's easy to create something, right? I can easily make mushrooms in my backyard, right? That's totally fine. But what matters is sales, distribution, and marketing, right? That is the most difficult part of any business. Yes, you can create a good product, but how can you sell it, right? How can you let the world know, right? And how can you convince them to buy your product? And 2 words to answer your question, right? Vertical integration, right? Vertical integration. Like, I went to business school. You can trust me on this one, right? You go to Investopedia. What is a vertical integration? It's a strategy that allows a company to streamline its operations by taking direct ownership of various stages of its production process rather than relying on external contractors or suppliers. So I want my mushroom business to just stick within the crypto community, right? I don't want to try to sell, right? I don't want to spend precious marketing dollars to try to convince normies to buy my mushrooms. I want to stick to the crypto community, right? That way, I can do targeted advertising. I can create like packaging that suits my crypto native customers' needs, and I think that this is the best way forward, right? This is a good demonstration of vertical integration, right? Self-sustaining, right? It's all in one ecosystem, so how can we integrate this to mushroom farming on Cardano, right? So yeah, sustainable system, right? Everything has to be sustainable, right? That can withstand demand shocks, all crypto native. So this is how I, imagine my mushroom business to go, right? So there's me at the top, right? I'm the operator, I'm the chief executive officer, and everything starts with me. And I've identified, 3 people that can be to my help, right? You have Charles Hoskinson, right? Anthony Sassano, and Luigi from Avalanche, okay? So what I can do is I can produce my mushrooms, right? And I can sell my mushrooms at a discount to these people, right? And use them as a form of distribution, marketing, sales, right? Because I can't do everything myself, right? It makes sense to offload some of the work to my peers and give them a cut of the profitability, right? So yes, the profit margin per pound per mushroom is $4.20, right, per pound. But maybe I can sell my mushrooms at like a $2 profit to these people, and that's going to be incentive for them to sell my mushrooms and make a profit, right? If crypto has taught me anything, it's all about incentivization mechanisms and tokenomics, right? This is great tokenomics right here. And the beauty of crypto is that we are all well connected, and these people, right, are, I guess, influencers in each respective community, and they know a lot of people. So Charles, right, they can probably hit up some of his YouTube influencers, right? Hey, like, I got these mushrooms, right? I eat them every single day, right? It's good for you, right? It makes me loopy sometimes. Like, I'll sell you my mushrooms that I got from Taiki at a discount, and you can sell it to your followers and make a profit, right? Times are tough out there, right? We all need revenue sources. And Anthony Sassano, he's friends with the Bankless guys, right? They have a pretty good following, right? They have like over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube or something. Like this is great, right? And Luigi can talk to Emin Gunsir and his brother Mario. Everything works, right? Everything works, and you can kind of see like where this goes, right? And you can kind of see that like I'm not really spending too much money or too much of my time to profit off of this mushroom business. I am giving my peers a cut, and therefore they are incentivized to make me money, right? And their profits are my profits, and their peers' profits are also my profits, right? It's a self-sustaining ecosystem, and it all works, right? And I expect this to keep getting bigger, right? I want my mushroom business to really, I want this to be a monopoly, right? In the crypto industry, I don't want no oligopoly. I just want a pure monopoly, right? And I forgot to delete this slide, but let's keep moving forward, right? So the earlier you get in, the bigger your profits are. DM me if you're interested, right? Twitter, YouTube, like whatever, right? Probably Twitter, right? This is called passive mushroom income, right? Like this is the new motto, right? PMI, right? PMI, yeah, PMI, passive mushroom income, PMI. That's what life is all about. All right, so summary, crypto is dangerous, right? Like we should have known this. Crypto is dangerous. Anything can go to zero in crypto. Mushrooms can't, like mushrooms don't go to zero, right? See what I did there, right? I think I figured it out, right? Yeah, so mushrooms don't go to zero, and while everyone is trying to make everything back in one trade, I'm just chilling, right, in Colorado with my boy Charles Hoskinson, smoking a cigar, right, and enjoying my regular mushrooms, fresh mushrooms. And like this is how you farm on the Cardano blockchain, right? So that's the end of the video. Hopefully this video is useful. I'm sure a lot of people can relate with the boomerification of crypto right now. Times are tough out there, but when in doubt, right, like you just go to mushrooms. That's the takeaway. So thank you guys for watching. Have fun farming out there, and buy my mushrooms, please, right? And if you want to be part of it, please DM me. Like time's running out fast. Bye-bye.